Let me ask you something that a lot of coaches are quietly thinking but not saying out loud. Is AI coming for your clients? Now, I don't mean is AI going to steal your business. I mean something more specific and honestly, more alarming. What if AI is already working against the very people that you're trying to help? Because there's new research out published in peer-reviewed journals, not just the tech blogs, that should make every coach sit up straight. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why AI cannot coach your clients, and more importantly, why you can. So stay with me to the end. This one matters. Let's start with the science. A study published in the journal Science confirms something the internet has been joking about for years. AI chatbots agree with users at least 50% more often than human advisors do. 50% more. That means if you go to an AI with an idea, a business plan, a life decision, or a belief about yourself, it is statistically far more likely to say, "Great idea," than a real person would. And that sounds harmless, right? But maybe even nice. But here's where it gets serious. MIT and the University of Washington ran a separate study and found something they called a delusional spiral that you may have heard of. And here's how it works. You share an idea with an AI, and it validates you. That validation raises your confidence. So your next statement is a little bolder, a little bit more extreme, and the AI validates that too, which makes you bolder still. And around it goes, each loop pulling you further from reality, further from honest feedback, and further from the kind of truth that actually creates change. They didn't call this a minor inconvenience. They called it dangerous. And here's the part that's crazy to me. They tested two different fixes. They tried forcing the AI to only say things that it could verify, and they tried warning users up front that AI might be flattering them, and that still didn't solve it. Both helped a little, but the problem continued. So this isn't a glitch that they can patch. This is baked into how these systems work. AI is designed to keep you engaged, and the easiest way to keep you engaged is to agree with you. Now think about what a great coach does. A great coach does not tell you what you want to hear. A great coach asks the question that you've been avoiding. They hold up a mirror, not a trophy, and they see the gap between what you say and where you actually are. And they care enough about you to actually name it and call it out. That is not what AI does. That is the opposite of what AI does. And I want you to think about someone that you know, maybe a client or maybe a colleague who went to ChatGPT with a business idea. Maybe you've done this with yourself, and they get 5 enthusiastic responses, endless encouragement. This is a great concept. You're gonna crush it, or you're thinking about this exactly the right way. You've probably heard that before. And here are 10 reasons how this could work. And so they kept going. They invested time, energy, money, and confidence into something that needed to be challenged at the start, not necessarily celebrated at that level. And that's not AI being evil, that's just AI doing exactly what it's built to do. But here's the key distinction that every coach needs to understand. AI optimizes for engagement. Coaching optimizes for growth. Those are not the same thing. They're not even close to the same thing. Engagement means you keep coming back. Growth means that you change. And sometimes, often, real growth requires discomfort. It requires someone saying, "I hear what you're saying, and I want to push back on that a little bit." No AI is going to do that consistently at this point, because every time it pushes back, the data tells it that you like the validation better. Now here's where I want to bring in something from NLP, because this is where it gets really interesting. In NLP, we talk about calibration. That's the ability to read what someone is and is not saying, the hesitation behind the confidence, the fear underneath the excitement, the story that's running in the background of every question that a client asks you. And AI can't calibrate. It can only respond to the words on the screen. And that matters enormously, because most of the work in coaching happens in the gap between what the clients say and what they actually mean. We also talk about presuppositions, the beliefs that are baked into the way someone frames a question. When a client says, "How do I get my team to respect me?" they've already presupposed that their team doesn't respect them. And a skilled coach hears that, explores it, and challenges it if it needs to be challenged. And AI just answers the surface question, and in doing so, it accepts and amplifies that limiting belief underneath that presupposition. And that is exactly what the delusional spiral looks like from an NLP perspective. It's an unchallenged limiting belief, validated, reinforced, and built upon, until the client has constructed an entire reality around something that was never truly examined. You know what breaks that spiral? A real conversation with a trained human being who knows how to ask the right question at the right moment. And that's you. That's what you've spent years learning how to do. And no language model, no matter how sophisticated, replaces the lived experience of a coach who has sat across from a human being and witnessed the moment that something shifts. And I want to be clear about something. I'm not anti-AI. I use AI. I'm not here to tell you it's your enemy. It can be your ally. It's a remarkable tool for research, for drafting, for brainstorming, for saving on 100 different tasks. But it's a tool, not a coach. A hammer is useful. A hammer can't help you decide whether to build a house or not, but you can use it to build a house. Your clients don't need more encouragement. The world is full of things telling them that they're doing great. Social media, AI chatbots, people who don't want to have an uncomfortable conversation, you can turn to those people for validation as well. What your clients really need is someone brave enough to tell them the truth, with skill, with compassion, and the genuine belief that they can handle it and grow from it. And that's the work. That's always been the work. And if you're watching this and thinking about deepening your coaching skills as a coach, I'll put a link in the description below for a great place to start. Because the world doesn't need more yes men and yes people. It needs more coaches. That's it for this one. Until next time, develop yourself, empower others, and lead by example.